Right, so those who have never seen this before, I'm surprised if you haven't, because it has actually been on my channel for 3 years now, near enough. I've had this for 3 years. It's an Electrolux Time Manager Insight, model number EWN14491W. And right, back in its day, this had the biggest drum capacity sort of going near enough. For its brand, even though there were bigger ones out there, this has an 8 kilogram drum load. And to put that in perspective, the 7 kilo Zanussi jet system, which is physically smaller than this, managed to fit 7 pairs of jeans, 7 t-shirts, and was about 2/3 full. It made a dent. It's absolutely massive. It's 72 litres. It's as big as the Maytag 10 kilo that I had around the same time as well. So it's absolutely ginormous, and I actually do love this machine. This cabinet has actually been designed specifically for this machine, and all these Electrolux Time Manager models. And the way Zanussi Electrolux do it is because this front panel is actually attached to the cabinet with about 1 inch. The cabinet is the same on this as a normal Zanussi, even as this AEG. And yet you wouldn't be able to tell the difference just by directly looking at it. This makes this panel really expensive, but it does have a few benefits as well. We've got this protruding door, which actually is slanted at around a 10 to 15 degree angle. Not that much of an angle. And that also means the drum itself is slanted. And therefore we get our name, Insight, because you don't have to bend down to see what's going on. You just merely have to look in. And you can see everything. This had also the biggest door going at the time. And even after all this time, there's no mould on it. But that could be just down to how it's been used. Saying that, there was a lot of mould. Actually, now going back about it, there was a lot of mould on it when I first got it. But it just simply rubbed off. I didn't have to soak it like I normally do. And it wasn't black mould, it was just more like grime from the liquid detergent. But it hadn't set in, causing mould. It even has these unique drum paddles, the wave paddles, which on normal Zanussis they didn't have, or not even the lower end Electrolux versions, they didn't have these. It's only specifically really for this massive drum. Good news is that the drum bearings and spider can actually be changed, but same with that AEG. Not that you really want to, because it's still a big job. One annoying thing down here, you see this flap? It's exactly the same as you actually find on the Zanussis, but you need a key to get into it, which you will find in the top here, which is in the drawer. And it's not very good anyway. So normally you just resort to a flathead screwdriver. Our detergent drawer at the top is actually still the same as a normal Zanussi, so there's no changes there. So, also because this door is on an angle, when you shut it and let go, it bounces, which means it can sort of keep this door open, but over time it will break this door, which it already has once. It was broken during the previous owners. And the other problem with Electrolux stuff, to be fair, it affects all Electrolux stuff, is occasionally you'll get a ghost board fault. So it'll come up with an error code and get stuck in it, and then as soon as you reset the board, it seems to be fine again. This one had a E68 apparently, and then the heater was disconnected, and I got it back and put the heater back in, and it was fine. No idea why. And it's been like this for 3 years. It's been fine. Initially, for the first year, it did do quite a lot of washing, but for the last 2, barely done any. It occasionally goes on about once a month, just to keep it alive really, keep it going. So we'll switch it on. And we get this nice tone, which is unique. It works with the beeper system that would normally be placed on normals and Zanussis. So at the end you'll get a tone as well, and it will be exact same pattern as the normal beeper. And what this is all down to a little bit of the programming anyway within the board, so that's why they managed to actually get a voice version for one of the Zanussis as well. It's exactly the same. You can probably set it up to have a voice version rather than the beat, even this chime. Right, we'll look over here. So we're on a cotton cycle over here. We've got a temperature choice of either 60, 50, 40, 30, cold, or 90. And you've noticed the little temperature gauge goes down with the temperature as well. See? That's quite cool. We've also got a spin cycle. You can have a spin choice of 14, 12, 1000, 900, 700, 500, off, night cycle, or rinse hold. So I'll explain. If you select no spin, you will add on a few rinses. If you select rinse hold, it will go to rinse hold, and at the end you then have to manually select a spin only program or a drain program. But if you select night cycle, it combines both no spin and rinse hold together, adding several rinses. Rinse hold will still do the intermittent spins, but both night cycle and no spin don't do the intermittent spins and add on a few rinse cycles to compensate, which is rough good. We've got two arrows here. It says option, so we'll press down. First off, we can have a pre-wash, which will add on around 20 minutes or so, and it kind of varies it to the actual load as well. But I'll talk about it later. It does it at 30 degrees. Next we've got extra rinse. Now extra rinse will add on 2 rinses to the cotton cycles and 1 rinses to the synthetic and delicate cycles. Easy iron will limit the final spin, if I go back here, to 900 RPM. It does a special final spin sequence instead. On synthetics, it's still limited to 900 RPM, which is actually the synthetics maximum anyway, but it does this same kind of sequence, where it will just literally just go straight up to max speed. We'll certainly set speed, so it goes to 450, 650, 900, and then 900 again, and then 900 again, and does these bursts. Then we've got a wash guide here. So if you press wash guide, you can actually have some information about the different temperatures. So 1995 white cottons only, and so forth. There's one for spin speed, one for option guide, and even the stain guide here. So we've got blood, how to treat it, oil, grease, rust, mould, grass, glue, lipstick, and they're all in here. It's telling you how to treat them before washing, or even what temperatures to select. But it doesn't actually select them for you. You've got to do it yourself. There's a demo in here, so if you select that, so if it's on the shop floor, you can select that and you'll do a demonstration of the display. That video is already on my channel anyway. So if we go back, then we've got settings, where you can change the language. Of course this is in English, but we've only got little symbols around here, so we can change it depending on. And we've got volume, which will change the beeper tone. Time, which is our actual current time, which is completely wrong. At the minute it says 9:15, it's about 4 in the afternoon. You can change the brightness of the display and the contrast of the dark to the backlight, and you can press reset if you want. End time is your delay. So if I press that, we can select when we want to finish the cycle. And you've got around about 19 hours or something like that, there and thereabouts. And then we've got a child lock feature, and we can save 2 favourite settings and cycles over here. Right, so I'm going to switch off, switch back on. It's the easiest way to get rid of those options. So finally, we're going to come over here, and we've got what's called Time Manager. Now this is what makes the Time Manager machine get its name. It allows you to choose between 6 different time settings. It doesn't allow you to really set how long you want it to go for, although you can in effect by using the end time along with the Time Manager. But essentially you've got 6 settings, so when you select the max setting, you'll notice the t-shirt's all full here now. That stands for the intensity cycle, which is for heavily soiled items. Well, you not switch it on this position, which is what your normal position. It's for normal and more slightly heavy soiled items. This is daily cycle, which is for light to normal soiled items. We've got light, which is for light soiled items. Quick, which allows you to do a full load still, for sort of very lightly and refreshing items. And then we've got super quick, which actually only allows you to wash half a load. On super quick, they'll have very lightly soiled items. Right, now here it displays how long it's going to be, and down here it displays what time it will finish at. So there's no point looking at the clock or even trying to figure it out, it just tells you. It's great. As long as that clock's set correctly, of course, which it isn't. The other thing though, however, you need to keep in mind is that the times on it aren't very too accurate. Super quick, for example, at 60 degrees says an hour 10, but in reality it only takes 55 minutes. And if I lower the temperature, so does the time. So we can lower it to 30 degrees, it says 55 minutes. I'm pretty sure at that temperature it only takes 45 minutes. If we move on to synthetics, or synthetics mixed cottons, we have our options as normal. Our maximum speed is 900, but we can have a temperature of up to 60. But there's a problem. If I use Time Manager over here, we can't go plus, but we've got normal, daily, light, and super quick. And there's no quick option, and super quick really is still made for half a load of synthetics, i.e. just 2 kilo and that's it. And set at 60 degrees it says 50 minutes. In reality this takes longer at an hour and 10. Yes, I know, it's very bizarre. And then if I lower the temperature to 30, it just takes 20 minutes. I haven't even actually checked it yet, if it does. At 40 degrees it does take around 40 minutes, so we are on par there. Right, delicates, we have a maximum temperature of 40, but we've got a limited spin of 700 RPM. Again, we've got Time Manager, but we've only got 4 options. We've only got normal, daily, light, and super quick. At 40 it's 35 minutes, 30 it's 30 minutes, and then finally we've got cold, which goes up for some reason to 35 minutes. Very bizarre. Now we've got cotton's economy, which is done at 60 degrees, and it only does 2 low-level rinses that are massively extended. It also does an altered wash. It's not quite 60 degrees, it's actually done at 58 degrees, which is a bit, so it does save a little bit of energy compared to standard 60. This gives you A energy rating, A wash rating, and A spin. And that's another thing as well. On this, the 1400 spin is A rated. Just to put that in perspective of how good it is, there's my AEG, and that's an 1800, right? It's the same manufacturer, but the spin cycle on this, the final spin, is a bit longer, and it spins at 1400 RPM for quite some time. So much so that despite that being 1800, for some reason, they come out drier out of this. Synthetic's economy is washed at 40. It takes longer than normal 40 if you notice. Again, it only does 2 rinses rather than 3, and saves a little bit of energy somehow. I don't really know how it actually does save it. To be fair, I haven't even used this cycle yet. I've used the majority of cycles, but that and Synthetic's 30 degree super quick, I haven't used yet. So many. We've got spin only, separate long spin for cottons, done at 1400 RPM. It does take 12, but in reality it does take about 15 minutes. And then we've got a delicate spin, which has 6 minutes, which it is actually, but it's done at 700 RPM, and it really is a true delicate spin. If you want to do a synthetic spin, you've got to just select spin, cotton spin, just reduce it to 900 RPM. We've got drain, water, and then we've got rinses for cottons. It does actually say cottons. Does 3 rinses and a final long spin. Then we've got Mini 30, which takes 30 minutes. It's done at 30 degrees and does a short 700 RPM spin for up to 3 kilos. But if you notice, it's exactly the same time as the Delicate Super Quick. So it allows you to wash 3 kilos of cotton, synthetic, or even delicate items, which is quite unique. We've got a hand wash cycle for garments marked hand wash only, and it does, it's very weird, the hand wash cycle, because it still does an intermittent spin, but does a 2-stage cool down as opposed to wool. Then you've got wool, which doesn't do a 2-stage cool down, just does 1. It's pretty much, I think hand wash and wool are pretty much the same. We've got silk, which only takes half an hour. It does 2 rinses still, which is quite impressive. And it's quite a good cycle actually. And we've got 5 shirts. It's for 1 kilo, or 5 200-gram shirts. It does it in 20 minutes if you notice, 30 degrees, 900 RPM. Now that sounds a bit like the Synthetics Super Quick 30. Now I have used that cycle, but I haven't used Synthetics 30 Super Quick yet, so it'll be quite interesting to see what the difference is, if any at all. The lingerie is for very delicate items. It seems to be pretty much looks like hand wash, just a bit slower, but I haven't used it yet, so I don't know. Blanket is for a single washable synthetic blanket or duvet. Now I managed to fit a double duvet quite snug in there, quite comfortably. You can fit probably a king up to 9 tog, 10.5 tog double. It fits nicely without really over cramming it in. It does it at 40 degrees and it does a final spin of 700 RPM. If you notice, I haven't been using Time Manager on any of these cycles because it's not available. It's only available in those first 3. We've got a curtain cycle, which I've not yet used, but what it does do is a delicate cycle with a cold pre-wash, or pre-rinse to be honest, and it's obviously to get rid of the dust that's built up within curtains. And finally we've got jeans and for dark coloured cottons in general. The final spin's limited, but not only that, the temperature on this is limited to 40. On the modern generation, jeans is now up to 60, and you can adjust it all the way down to cold. But the fan speed is still 1200 RPM. What it does is it actually runs a super rinse option alongside a normal cotton cycle. So basically, it runs 5 rinses with 450 RPM intermittent spins. The later ones now have upped the intermittent spin level, but still do an extra rinse. Finally, you can set up favourite options into these 2 sectors with options that you use frequently. This was just an example, we don't even use it. So we've got our pre-wash, main wash, and our fabric softener. So I'm going to put our main wash detergent in, and some comfort in there. So once you press start, you'll notice that all these bubbles are coming up around here. You'll say washing at start for the first several minutes, and then into heating with the bubbles still. And then when it goes on to the rinse stage, it will say rinsing, and then finally spinning with a little icon like that. I'll show you later on when we're at these different stages. I have a gripe with this machine, and it's this. It's top of the range, but there's no load sensor. It doesn't seem to detect how much washing is inside and adjust it to the washing length and rinses and etc. The only time it might drop some time because it can heat up faster, but other than that, it doesn't. So sometimes it drops time in the pre-wash, but for no apparent reason at all. And the only reason why I got a gripe with it, because at the time there was a John Lewis machine made by Electrolux that could do that could detect the load. And even Zanussi had a Jet System Plus machine, which is made from exactly the same time. That Jet System Plus version detected the load. So despite it being top of the range for Electrolux, and quite expensive as well, it doesn't have it. Considering that other machines in the market at the time had load sensors, this one didn't. You had Hoover and Hotpoint and Inset, they all had load sensors, and this one doesn't, and it's a bit of a shame really. And it doesn't matter what cycle you select, there just isn't one. Been doing that for all 3 years, and it's not got any worse. let's take a look. So I'm putting... Whoa, that's really dry. And... It's not that good actually. Having... These all seem really clean. The smell, and despite me accidentally putting a little bit too much detergent in, maybe, just say no, that's half the detergent you're supposed to put in for a 5 kilogram load, and there's 3 kilos there. It seems to create a lot of suds, and that's very bizarre actually, because the jet system does keep the suds at bay. I've got a little bit of rubbish there. So what's my final thoughts on this? Out of 10, this gets 9 out of 10. Because, for me, what annoys me is the fact that they had the chance to put a load sensor in, like the programming for the different load sizes, and then chose not to. Not only that, what really annoys me is the fact that the European ones are actually different to the UK ones, in the terms of what programs you get. The European ones do get slightly less programs, but they do get a 14-minute wash, which also appeared on the John Lewis. Electrolux built John Lewis brand of washing machine. It seems then that the annoying things there are what kind of let this down and loses its 10 out of 10. Otherwise, it would have actually been perfect, an absolute perfect gem of a machine. It's definitely more reliable than the other set of Electrolux machines, and more well built as well. Not that the other Electrolux machines are any worse. But even so, I still love it even today, even though it's got little niggles. I love this door actually, fantastic. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this review. The one other thing that just annoys me is this. That is nothing there. But on early Electrolux machines, it was a drum light, and for some bizarre reason it's been taken out over the years. That's just nothing.